The rain lashes at the granite ridge, wearing down the old rock. Its form reshaped decade after decade. It has never stopped, and it will never stop. A chaos indifferent to beauty or sentiment, giving no quarter to our petty concerns. Amidst this endless, ruthless drama, a smaller scene unfolds. Whether it is of consequence depends purely on the scale of one's perspective. Two individuals scale the scree for the exposed plateau above.
I still don't understand why you are here. Yesterday you said no, but today you are here. The world has not changed in the meantime. Is it possible that this short ration of time has been enough to change you? To transform something inside?
Does the reason really matter?
People change, Wilt. All the time they change. Maybe not a lot, maybe not enough, but slowly. Like these rocks and cliffs, they change. They themselves don't always notice it, but it's happening all the time.
The wind redoubles its efforts to erase them from the blackened rocks, and still they clamber upward, slowly. The curtains of swirling fog part to reveal the daunting outline of a man-made structure. The walls have been chiseled from the jagged ridges of rock. The glimmer of a candlelit monastery is dwarfed by an extension behind it.
I guess that's it. Bet Arcady.
The smaller monastery is hundreds of years old. Ignat said that Rendain acquired it a few years back and then added the rampart extension shortly after.
Looks like it's under heavy guard. They aren't taking chances with all of their senior people in one place.
Ignat said they were here for some sort of leadership ritual. This may be our chance to strike at those who really hold the power in Rendain.
Wilt and Siska continue their approach towards the somber stone walls of the monastery.
We must not quit. What is it? Do you mind? not quit.
The cavernous room is eerily quiet. Wilt and Siska furtively explore its corridors to check for any guards. This room, at least, provides some sanctuary.
There are too many of them on the lower levels. The barracks up ahead seem to be even more heavily guarded.
It's too difficult to get through together. I'll go ahead alone. Let me clear the way. I'll come back for you once it's done.
Siska glances round the room for a moment before turning back to Wilt. She nods.
Okay, I'll wait here. I trust you.
The flat roof of the barracks has been adapted to accommodate vehicles from the Zeppelin factory. Their launcher barrels pointed menacingly into the darkness. The flat roof of the barracks has been adapted to accommodate vehicles from the Zeppelin factory. Their launcher barrels pointed menacingly into the darkness. The exposed platform faces the precipitous breach. Beyond it, a ravine plummets into nothingness. Further still, another column of jagged basalt rises from the deep, with a structure carved atop it.
Wilt, I presume?
Excuse me?
We've not yet met. I am Torvik Baner. Perhaps your friends Siska and Arn. Oh, do forgive me. I had forgotten about poor Arno. We found his charred remains amidst the debris of our plant. Of course, it was his own vandalism which caused such chaos, so perhaps we should not be too sorry.
He made his choices.
As will you, Wilt, as will you. But all in due course. For now, I must admit that I am impressed with how you've navigated our facility thus far. Nonetheless, I have ceased to consider your sport worth the effort. It would be logical for you to be eliminated at this point. And yet, there are others who disagree. They still regard you as an exploitable resource. Your impressive ruthlessness is matched only by your complete lack of any conviction. You're a powerful weapon that can be turned any which way. Please, accompany me.
Wilt is apprehensive. His curiosity tempers the urge to attack, which pulses through his tensed fingers. Torvik turns and strides towards the cable car sitting upon the boarding platform. Wilt hesitates before following him. They board the vehicle just as its motor splutters into gear. The small cabin sways precariously in the wind. Its motor cogs crawl tentatively along the cable, guiding it through the night. Wilt stares into the ravine below. Its empty space seems to possess endless mass. A nerve in his neck tingles. The cable car has been decorated with 4 small, disturbing sculptures carved from the basalt and granite abundant on the slopes outside. Each one depicts a strange, humanoid creature, half beast and half machine. The one nearest to Wilt is standing erect, with a metalloid structure embedded beneath the skin of its back. Wilt looks aghast at the prospect, examining the symbiotic depiction of steel and skin.
So, despite everything, you are here. Of all the places for your sickly little bag of flesh to end up, somehow things have led us to this place, this moment.
Torvik pauses, turning to one of the statues at his left.
Frightening, isn't it? The things which we can do. Such power emanates from our organs and limbs.
The car's gears continue to grind it along its threaded route through the abyss.
We are almost there.
Huge portraits of austere faces hang along the staircase, each tinged by the cold sneer of high command which emanates from their pursed lips and stern frown.
They were all powerful men. Please accompany me to the upper residence. I'd like to show you something.
Torvik strides into the vast stone-walled room and beckons Wilt. In the middle of the space is a large bronze cage crammed full of snow pigeons. Wilt wondered how he'd not noticed it when he first entered. The birds emit pained squawks as they peck and jostle at each other for space. Torvik watches the feral scene intently, captivated by the prospect of beak and claw-drawn blood.
Do you think you would behave differently were you inside that cage, Wilt? Or are you disgusted by what they are doing to each other?
They're animals. I expect little more from them.
And from people, Wilt? Are they not animals? You don't strike me as someone who expects much more of people than you do of these pigeons. Do you think the world is any different from this rusty cage?
Yes, it can be.
And do you care, Wilt? Do you care whether the world is a rusty cage or not?
You're enjoying their suffering, aren't you? You found a way to bring out the worst in them, to render them at their ugliest. And you're proud of it.
You read people well, Will. I am indeed proud of this and so much more that I have managed to achieve.
Torvik pauses to toss a few scraps of fruit into the cage. His face is tensed in grim fascination as the starved birds fight viciously to earn a bite of the rotting food.
I see in you a man who is lost, Will. Awake from this dreary existence you have drifted into. Swear your allegiance to us and rediscover what it means to believe in something again. We know you have strength and that you're not afraid to use it. Our clerks have researched your background thoroughly. Your former regiment has kept extensive records of its war deserters. Your murder of the officer, Corporal Harold Wickmans. There is something ruthless inside you, Wild. Something which we don't often find.
That was different. We weren't just two caged pigeons fighting over breadcrumbs.
You were, and still are, exactly that, Wild. When backed into a corner, you acted like any one of these dirty, grubby creatures would have done.
I had a reason. Not one I will ever feel the need to share with you, but I had a reason. He deserved what he got. It was different.
You can think whatever you need to think, Will. If you must distance yourself from these vermin, so be it. I myself prefer to compliment you on your similarity to them. So, what's it to be? Will you release yourself from your petty vanities and join us in our purpose? Or would you prefer some sort of futile dramatic gesture, like the mess your friends made at our facility? Perhaps attack me out of misguided allegiance to that girl. She seems to think I'm dangerous. If you think her right, perhaps you should do something about it.
Torvik steps to Wilt and offers his hand. Wilt pauses, The room is silent, but for the yelps of agony coming from the cage. Wilt attacks Torvik. The move catches Torvik by surprise, and the men fall to the floor.
Guards! Guards!
Torvik shouts for the guards, but his cries will not carry over the ravine to the barracks. Wilt is the stronger man. He fumes with rage as his fists crash against Torvik's ribs. Torvik's resistance becomes ever weaker as he tries to scramble away for the cable car platform. Wilt stands over his bloodied and prone opponent. He contemplates the loose basalt by the altar supporting the cage. Wilt steps over the prostrate Torvik and heads for the cable car. The rain continues to hurtle from the heavens. Each drop slaps against the rock with the force and intensity of a cosmic explosion. To the naked eye, the rock is unmoved. It resists, unchanged and defiant as before, withstanding the endless elemental siege. But a change has nonetheless occurred. Each drop has taken its tiny toll. One day, only pebbles will remain of mountains and cliffs. Nothing stays the same. Not for a second.